Make of that answer that it is still serious business and not petty and adversarial?
It's just lost any kind of decency. People shout across each other. They're really rude to each other. They make ridiculously stupid points and think that it's a blame game and everyone's trying to blame everyone else and there's no responsibility. And the things they say, it's like they're treating us as fools.
All right. And the woman up there at the back. The woman up there. Yes.
I think politics has always been like that. Where I've watched debates and it's always been petty, and I just think that it is going in the right direction with more women, more people from different types of backgrounds. It just needs to be more like the people, and we are going in the right direction. We just all need to get involved, and it doesn't help when people are told not to vote, in my opinion.
Russell Brand famously said, "Don't vote." I don't know whether it's still your view, is it?
Well, I think the important issue is I, like 70% of the people at the last election in this country, didn't vote because we didn't feel engaged.
Right.
Yeah, the European election, that counts. That's why we got that dude at the end of the table, who, by the way, had the perfect training to be a politician because he spent, as he said himself, his time in business in the city, the people that most of us think politicians truly work for. Now, the reason I said that I don't vote... The reason I said that I don't vote is I don't see the interests of ordinary people being represented. My mate Lee Pickett, who works for the Fire Brigade Union, he can't get his voice heard. Old Penny there is presiding over legislation that means that firemen are going to have to work an extra 5 years. They're really tired from doing the, going into burning buildings and whatnot, so they wanted to do another 5 years of that. This is an agenda that is not met by politicians that, as we understand them. So I suppose it becomes, for fellas like Nigel there, become more popular.
Yeah, but what the questioner was saying, or what the comment from the back was, that people should vote, and the mistake is to urge people not to vote, as you do.
Well, what I say, David, is give us something to vote for.
All right. Penny Morton.
I think that, there's a bit of an irony in that we say we don't like Punch and Judy politics, and I think that turns a lot of people off politics. But loads of people campaign about, they're against things. And actually, what makes people vote is hope. Only the optimistic vote. Why else would you trek down the polling station? You only go and vote because you think your vote makes a difference, and you hope it makes a difference for the better. Just an interesting statistic, just to pick up your point. The amazing, inspirational girl who picked up Malala, who picked up youngest ever recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. She has on her fund that does amazing work in providing education opportunities for girls. She has 117,000 Twitter followers. Russell has 9 million. So although, probably I don't agree with, apart from my admiration of firefighters, much that Russell probably...
Pay their pensions then, love.
Well, we can come to that.
Excuse the sexist language, I'm working on that.
I think you have a huge opportunity, and I really
You have a huge opportunity. You're a member of Parliament. I'm a comedian. You could be in there representing people.
Can you let people finish? Because one of the things that people really don't like is men talking over women on these types of shows, and our voices not being heard. And it's a classic of question time.
And can you let me chair it?
Sorry.
Come to me, and I'll bring you in up there.
I think that's a huge opportunity to get a positive message across. I got into politics from being an aid worker in countries where they didn't enjoy the kind of freedoms we have, and they didn't have the opportunities to express their democratic views. And I think that, you have 9 million people on Twitter, and I really wish you'd give people a positive message about voting.
I wish you'd give us a positive message.
It's about the behaviour in Parliament. It was you who famously slipped into your speech 5 times the word which
Cop.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
For a laugh with the Navy. And, we're meant to take it seriously. You don't take it seriously, and you work there, Penny. How are we supposed to take it seriously? I'm a comedian on Twitter. You're a member of Parliament. You're not looking after the fire service. You're not looking after disabled people. I'm on Twitter. I just try my best to help people that campaign for themselves.
And what's tonight, Penny? What's tonight's word?
Camilla Cavendish.
We'll have to wait for tonight's word for a minute. I'm sitting here as a...
Now between 62 and 63 million. That is a massive, massive increase. And I think ordinary folk going about their lives are feeling it. And I think, having a proper immigration policy, controlling the numbers, doing what nearly 200 countries in the world do, namely controlling the numbers that come and the type of people that come, is the answer.
Right. Russell Brand.
I sometimes feel worried about you, Nigel Farage. But the reason I feel worried is because I know a lot of people are frightened in our country. I know a lot of people are feeling afraid and frustrated. And there is a sense that there is a corrupt group in our country using our resources, taking away our jobs, taking away our housing, not paying taxes, exploiting us. And there is an economic elite that this man's party is funded by, that this man comes from background working in the city. Let me tell you something. There was an economic crash and a lot of money was lost. His mates in the city farted. Nigel Farage is pointing at immigrants and the disabled and holding his nose. Immigrants are not causing the economic problems and suffering we're experiencing. As much as any of us, I enjoy seeing Nigel Farage in a boozer with a pint and a fag, laughing off his latest scandals about breastfeeding or whatever. I enjoy it. But this man is not a cartoon character. He ain't Del Boy. He ain't Arthur Daly. He is a pound shop Enoch Powell, and we got to watch him.
Well, Russell, that's all well and good, and you've got your point of view. The question was, is Britain overcrowded? And do you think I'm wrong? I mean, do you not think...
Nigel, can I not be more clear, mate? I think you're wrong. I come from the kind of community...
This is called Question Time, this programme, right? And
well, tonight it could have another name.
And what happens is... Members of the audience ask questions, and we're expecting them to answer them. You haven't answered this lady's question. Do you think Britain's overcrowded and there is a strain on public resources and people's quality of life?
We need more money for public resources.
Well, where's it going to come from?
It's not overcrowded. It's going to come... Oh, I'm so glad you asked, mate. Since the financial crash, banker bonuses have exceeded £80 billion. George Osborne, your Chancellor, campaigned to stop caps being placed on banker bonuses. At the same time, there were austerity cuts against the poorest among us, the disabled, people that we need to be looking after. We need to close tax loopholes which are exploited by big corporations. There's money. I've got money now. I've seen rich people. There's plenty of money out there. It's just not being distributed.
Okay. You say the thing. Yes.
And I don't like people preaching that I am any part responsible for anything. I've never heard him criticised the disabled.
I never have.
OK? Never. No. OK? And you are a campaigner, yeah? I'm going to go back to the last question. Please let me finish.
Mate.
Stand. Stand for Parliament. If you're going to campaign, then stand. OK? OK, you have the media profile for it. Do it.
My problem would be, mate, I'd stand for Parliament, but I'd be scared that I'd become one of them. I know what side of the argument...
No, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You've full addiction. You've full addiction and you've beaten it, OK? You can't preach that. That is rubbish.
Mate,
You cannot preach that.
I'm not preaching.
Well, you are. You've attacked him, OK?
Yeah.
OK? And you've attacked him, and you've attacked everybody that stands for his party.
I do.
I
do.
We're
trying.
I'm sorry.
I'm not attacking people
they are people on the street. Oh, are they? Rubbish. Rubbish. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, it's the general public that are standing for him.
Trying to blame immigrants for the cutbacks because of his rich banker friends.
Russell, you've got some voters here, mate. You ought to stand. I mean, these are your voters. They're lovely people, aren't they? They're lovely people.
I just hear for a voice up here. You, sir, on the gangway.
Behave yourself over
Yeah.
there. The point I want to make to Russell is that you say you claim to sort of stand up for the working classes, but you've got to understand that it's the working classes that have been hit the hardest by immigration, mass immigration. You know, wage compression, the change in communities over a short period of time has led to, you know, tension within communities. You've got to appreciate that actually, you know, it's all right to say, you know, criticising UKIP and Nigel Farage, but actually it's the people at the bottom of society that have been hit the hardest by immigration.
I'm telling you, mate, honestly, I come from the same community as you come from. I've been very lucky and I've had a few breaks and I've got a few quid now. And I'm telling you that immigration has always been happening. What happened in 2008 was very unique. If I thought... My friend, I swear to you, if I thought, listen, try this, for 2 years, turn your focus to corruption in the city, turn your focus to apathetic politicians, turn yourself to the corruptions going on there, and if in 2 years' time your life ain't got better, campaigning against the people that have wealth and power, not those that have very little, if it's still the same, I'll come with you and campaign. But I'm telling you, I know where the power is, I know where the money is, I know what we've got to do.
Right. Camilla Cavendish. Camilla Cavendish.
I'm not quite clear, Russell, what the relationship is between the city and immigration. I mean, the City of London actually now has some of the most talented people from all over the world, and we should be really proud of that. It's a fantastic meritocratic success story for this country.
No, I don't agree.
Can I finish? It seems to me, to the gentleman's point here, you know, we're at the end now of, what, 16 years of this experiment in mass immigration that was launched by the Labour government that the British people were never consulted on. And it was an experiment, and we're in the middle of it, and it has brought a lot of people here. And whether or not we're actually overcrowded, to your question, I think a lot of people feel that we are. And I don't think anybody in this country wants to shut the door. I really don't. I don't think anybody in this country... I think there are...
That's the point. I tend to go round in circles. I want to go back to the woman up there who was trying to get in before. Up at the back there, yes.
I think we need to cap immigration. We've got Canterbury prison now that is full of immigrants from outside UK, and it's full. We should vet people coming into this country. It's not about stopping people coming into the country. It's about vetting them. We need to know that they have skills set for the country. There's jobs for them to come in. We shouldn't have to support them when they come over. They should be able to contribute to the country, not segregate themselves. I fully support people coming over to work, to integrate into this country. We have one of the most open doors, but we need to vet people coming into this country. We don't want people with criminal histories. We don't want rapists. We don't want murderers. We don't want them. You are, lady, you are the rudest woman that I've ever met. Go and sit down and be quiet. It's nothing at all to do with racism, at all. That's why you need to back off and mind what you say. It's nothing to do with racism. It's not even about numbers. It's vetting people. We need to make sure that people come into this country, they have a skill set for this country.
When you say it's not about numbers, then, in reply to the question, is Britain really overcrowded, is your answer yes or no?
Where I live, yes.
All right.
Yes.
Penny Mordaunt.
Well, the theme that we keep